Welcome to the Angry Lieutenant, and in a system where you can get caught banging a billy goat in bed and still make it to first lieutenant, where you can be a chronic nose picker and booger eater and still make it to captain. You may be asking yourself, so what's the big secret to being a competent junior leader and eventually a competent strategic leader in the military? Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you what that secret is in about 3, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4 now. So, you want to be a good colonel? Well, in order to be a good colonel, I think you need to be a good lieutenant colonel. And in order to be a good lieutenant colonel, I think you need to be a pretty good major. And in order to be a good major, I think you need to be a good captain. And in order to be a good captain, I think you need to be a good lieutenant. So do you see a pattern here? So I think what the secret is to being a good, competent leader is take the time to be good at the position you're at. Now really, tacitly, that's what you're going to be told throughout your career, but very rarely will anybody connect the dots for you to explain to you that we need you to be a good second lieutenant. Take the time to learn from your NCOs and all of those jobs that are entailed in being a second lieutenant. And then after you're a second lieutenant, do all those things that you need to do as a first lieutenant and enjoy that time so that when you're a captain and eventually a company commander or a section leader or whatever you may happen to be, then you are starting to build a foundation of knowledge and competence that you won't realize you've got until you're a senior major. Because remember, and if you'll remember one of my other videos, the Army, or the military for that matter, doesn't expect to get a return on investment off you until you have been in the service for about 11 to 12, 13 years. You will see this is especially true when you run into a lieutenant colonel who has his or her head firmly up their ass. The reason why is they didn't spend their time being a good second lieutenant. They was always island hopping. They were looking at the next move. They was looking at the next long-term civilian schooling. They were always looking to do something else instead of really doing all of those competencies at that station that they needed to do in order to create a good foundation. And I will tell you, I think the NCO Corps does this great. The NCO Corps, they take a private, and for the next 4, 5, 6 years, that soldier through E1 and E4 and E5, they will go through level 10, level 20, level 30 training. Every year they will qualify and resharpen their skills on those perishable skills that are critical for where they're at in the rank structure. Now, of course, the officer corps is a little different, and it has an emphasis on leadership, management, and strategic and tactical competencies. Well, really, how good are you going to be if you don't know what your soldiers are supposed to be doing, what your junior officers are supposed to be doing, because you didn't take the time to really enjoy some of those mundane tasks that you thought weren't really important, like being in the motor pool, being the food service officer, running the range, being the XO of a company, and doing these other tasks that you really just felt like you were marking time. So my advice to you is the secret to being a good colonel is really being good at all of those jobs and competencies that led up to that. So remember, go out there and have a great day.